さぞかし良いお顔をされているのでしょうね。
もらうぞゴレアスデスサイズ。それがなんだ。死ねその言葉そのまま返せ。
No joke, this might be the first season finale all season long. Like this might be the first last episode of the season so far of an anime where I have like nothing negative to say. Like on one aspect, we got a little nugget of a potential for a season 2 because the end of the episode literally stated, and the story continues. So that could mean one of two things, right? That could mean, hey, there is a chance the studio were looking at a season 2. Maybe they've requested funding for a season 2. Season 2 could already be in the works. There could be talks about it. And the story continues could also mean like, hey, the source material, web novel, manga, light novel, whatever, it could just mean like, hey, the story continues beyond here today. Regardless, though, I think that even if we were to say, okay, let's say Black Summoner never does get a season 2, I still feel very complete, even though we have and it's weird, right? Because normally I don't like this, but even though we kind of have an incomplete story, I do feel like we finished off an arc, right? Even though we didn't get to his S-class promotion, I feel like that leaves room for a couple of things. It leaves room for an OVA. So maybe there's a special OVA episode, Blu-ray only type episode that comes out, and we actually get to see him do his S-rank promotion, right? And it also leaves room to, okay, if we do get budget, if we do get a season 2, if the studio does get funding for it, then that means that, okay, we can immediately pick up where this left off. But let's say that we don't. What we got here was a complete arc of Kelvin saving the elf village, right? So we got the Elfil stuff. We learned more about her mother, Rumiel, whatever. She got an heirloom from her mother, and the elf village is celebrated, and we protect all of that. We got to see Rion grow. At the end of the episode, I thought it was a really important anecdote to me. I thought, like, okay, we got to see her create a new spell. Obviously, it was just to, go and rush to Kelvin, and kind of beat Melfina, beat Sarah as quickly as she could. But she created a dope-ass spell. So that means now she has a ton of room to grow as well as a character, as a hero. And now we know that she can create spells and everything. So I think that is really, really cool, right? We have Melfina, who is now officially, you can say nearly almost, 100% in her new body, right? So she's almost like all the way there. We have Sarah, who made a ton of strides this episode. Or not even this episode, this season. We have Gerard, who's like our tried and true soldier knight. Clotho, who has, kind of gained experience. Clotho's been like the more minimal one, but we know he has extra form. He has all his uses, his vices. He's basically like the second in command for Kelvin. And then obviously we have Elfil, who is don't. It reminded me of the Dragon Ball, like don't touch my Bulma, And instead this one was don't lay your hands on my woman. And I love how Gerard gave Elfil crap about it, and she kind of was like over the moon. I was hoping, my guess, if I had to nitpick, right? And I don't really want to do it because I feel like this episode was so effing dope. And then when the ED hit, guys, like I got emotional. I was like, oh my god, because the ED is just so good. It's the best ED I think I've ever heard. I would put this ED up to any anime out there. I think it's just the song hits right, the emotion hits right. I think this ED is like one of the best ever. But if I had to nitpick, the one thing that I would have loved to see is before Kelvin got bum rushed by Sarah, Rion, Melfina, I would have loved to have him just share one little kiss with Elfil. Now, the reason that is for two reasons. One, at some point he has already. The anime kind of did him dirty because what you guys have told me in the comments, I think maybe on episode 3, right after he got Elfil, you guys let me know that in the source material, and please, anybody, maybe this isn't right, but correct me. In the source material, you guys told me, that in the source material that him and Elfil had kind of consummated their relationship. They had, they had gone all the way. So if it's true that they had, kind of pushed that barrier beyond just master servant and they've gone to that next level, then, I would have loved to have seen him, kiss his woman, you know what I mean? Like, just something. It didn't have to be very much. It could have just been a quick peck. Just something, I think that would have taken this episode just one more notch higher for me. But regardless, I'm going to land on like a 9 out of 10 this episode. Some of the things I really love is we got to meet General Clive, and General Clive, we got to learn that he's not, they call it a reincarnator. I don't know if that's a translation thing. I kind of hate that, but he was a reincarnated person into this world. So the next thing that I want to learn more about him is if he was reincarnated into this world, there's like a 98% chance that Melfina had a hand in that reincarnation. So I would love for Kelvin to go and kind of probe her more about kind of what else can I expect? Who else is being reincarnated here? The fact that, he was a reincarnation person was crazy. He was like a level 91 or maybe 93. He had charm abilities, very strong S-class abilities. I thought that was all cool. I love how Kelvin called him Mr. Protagonist because he called himself a self-proclaimed protagonist. So I thought that was pretty hilarious as well. I love the 3D battle scenes. I thought the 3D battle scenes were actually really, really good. I don't know. This is one of the only animes that I can kind of say, like, I legitly love when they switch to the 3D battle scenes because it reminds me of a fighting game, like one of those, like, brawler-type games like Dragon Ball FighterZ or something. I just really love that they did it that way, and I thought the fight scene was really, really good, so I thought the Sakuga was top tier. The only thing I don't like during the 3D battle scenes is when they're talking. The lip flaps look a little funky, but I still love the battle itself. We got to see the Tempest Barrier, and we got to see the Black Staff of Disaster. So basically the highest tier scythe staff that Kelvin had made. And we got to see him use a move called Boreas Death Scythe. And I can speak. Boreas Death Scythe. Okay, I had to say it slow. How much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? Am I right? So he used that move, and he took this dude's legs off. I was like, let's effing go. He wasn't allowed to kill him because, of course, there's even a bigger bad out there. So the top dog from Trison came and got him and took him back. Now this poor dude's going to be done experiments on. Trison knows he's a reincarnated person, so they're going to be doing experiments, so that really sucks anymore. Then the episode kind of ends, and we got to see Kelvin potentially remember something from the past. He said something like, oh, I don't want to regret anymore. And I think he had a memory of when he was reincarnated that he also said that same thing. So there's a chance that maybe some of his memories could break through certain events or instances, if things that, like, he has things happen to him. There's certain things that could maybe spur little nuggets of info of his past, and I think that'd be cool. And obviously, the last thing I touched base on it, the S-Class mission. He met Leonhardt, which ended up taking the form of a little girl. I thought that was really cool. Passed the promotion exam. And then we get the story continues. So I think overall, like, this has been a fantastic ride, a fantastic arc, a fantastic episode. I would say overall, this is easy an 8 out of 10 anime. Like, overall, being as critical as possible. And I think that's a really solid rating. I think 8 out of 10 puts it over a lot of other anime. So I feel like this was an 8 out of 10. There were some things I didn't like about the anime, but for the most part, I would say, like, that's like 2 episodes. For the most part, I think everything else really hit it out the park. And this is a must-watch. And I think this is in process of getting dubbed as well. So right now, I think we have 6 episodes that are dubbed right now, I think is what it is. So this is in the process of getting dubbed, or 8 episodes dubbed. So I'll rewatch this dubbed as well later on, and I think this is going to be really, really good. So let me know what you guys thought, and of course, I'll see you guys in the fall anime. So make sure you guys watch what I'm watching this season. Let me know your final thoughts, and say your goodbyes to Black Summoner in the comments. Peace out.